So my name's Richard Francis. I'm a building contractor and landlord. The Tithe Barn is the original use of the property. It was used for drying grain and it belonged to the owner of the main house and the estate. I think what makes our property stand out is the fact that it's a very unique building. There's a large amount of accommodation with regards to dining space and sitting space. It's one big open plan area, so it's great for large parties. The nice thing about the Tithe Barn is that the other things in the local area are the beaches, Rossniger and Aberfrau, which are very popular with guests, and then also some guests then like to go over to Snowdon and see Llanberis. I think what attracted us to this property was the challenge of converting an old barn. I could see an opportunity to add a substantial value to the property and also save the property from ruin, really. It was on the endangered properties list, so in another 4 or 5 years' time, the property, the gable ends, would have probably fallen down, and it just needed some sort of care and attention, really. Our motivation for getting into holiday letting was that we could see that we could add value to certain properties and also then create a building that we could also use ourselves. We had some experience with holiday letting previously. I'm a landlord, so I knew about letting properties, and then I'm a building contractor as well, so we knew about the building side, so it was more about getting the money together and making sure it was financially viable, really. The challenges that we faced with the building was the fact that it's Grade 2 listed, and we had to go back to conservation to get the planning permission changed to make it a 4-bed property, and then the fact that the buildings have got slutty windows, so that the windows had to be designed specifically to open inwards to deal with the window reveals. The most significant parts of the build was when we got the roof trusses delivered and put in place. You can see that they're a very large piece of structural timber. So when those turned up on the lorry and we were craning them in, it was quite a unique moment. The unique features of the building are the windows and then the stone building, which has to be lime mortar. So we had to go back to conservation to deal with how we were going to rebuild it. It's satisfying to welcome the first guest, but it's also a nervous time because, you know, you don't really know what people are going to think of it. We decided to go for short-term holiday lets because we could see that the market was there, and it just made financial sense to, you know, you can make more money out of people coming for a week than you can on a long-term let. I think tips for people that want to get into holiday letting is they need to do their homework first and find the property that they can manage themselves and know that they can have the money to spend on it to bring it up to standard. I think a lot of people think that it's an easy way to make money, and you do have to spend more than you think to get it up to standard. I think you've got to be very organised in furniture choice and design and making sure that everything's available when you want it. You need to start probably 4 months before you're going to get your first guests, because often things aren't available when you want them. My experience of using Sykes has been very good. We've had good feedback from them, and yeah, it's been an enjoyable experience. We'd definitely recommend Sykes to other people. I think they definitely get more guest visits than other holiday letting companies, and the exposure on the internet is really good. I think my favourite thing about letting this property out is to see people enjoy it and making memories and having a good time, and people then come back. So we've had a number of guests who visited the property 2 or 3 times, which is quite satisfying.